I have a problem. A 6-foot-tall, stupidly attractive, completely oblivious problem named Oliver. Living with your best friend should be fun, right? Not when you've been secretly in love with said best friend for years and he just so happens to be the human embodiment of temptation and straight. Seriously, the amount of self-control I have to exert on a daily basis should qualify me for sainthood. Oliver is the kind of guy who walks around our dorm in nothing but a towel, completely unaware that I am 2 seconds away from cardiac arrest. The kind of guy who flops onto my bed without warning, stretching out like a cat, completely unaware that my brain is short-circuiting. The kind of guy who playfully wrestles me during late-night study breaks, pinning me down with his infuriating strength, completely unaware that I would very much like to die. But despite all of that, I've kept it together. I've kept my feelings locked down, very deep where they can't ruin our friendship. It was fine. Totally fine. And then last night happened. It was 2 a.m. and I was blissfully asleep, dreaming about something nice. Probably a world where Oliver wasn't single-handedly driving me insane. When I woke up to movement. Specifically movement in my bed. Now, I'm a rational person. Mostly. So my first thought was, intruder. My second thought was, ghost. My third thought was, oh my god, I'm about to be murdered. Turns out, none of the above. Because when I turned over, I came face to face with Oliver, who was very much in my bed and very much naked. I, of course, had a completely normal reaction to this, meaning I made a strangled inhuman noise and almost fell off the mattress. Oliver, completely unbothered, mumbled something incoherent and curled into my side like I was his personal body pillow. I was too busy having a full-blown existential crisis to process anything beyond the fact that his skin was warm and his hair smelled unfairly good. Oliver, I hissed, trying not to sound like I was on the verge of spontaneous combustion. What the hell are you doing? No response. Just soft breathing and a slight, unconscious nuzzle against my shoulder. Kill me. Just kill me now. Eventually, I worked up the courage to poke him. Dude, seriously, you're naked, in my bed. He blinked sleepily, finally waking up and frowned like I was the one being weird. Then he looked down at himself, back at me, and said, completely deadpan, huh, weird. Weird. That was his reaction. Not, oh my god, I'm so sorry, not, why am I here, just, huh. Then, without another word, he got up, stretched, for God's sake, completely unbothered by his lack of clothing, and wandered back to his bed like this was just another Tuesday night. I, meanwhile, lay awake for the next 3 hours, questioning every single life choice that had led me to this moment. A week later. A week passed. I convinced myself it was a fluke. Some kind of weird sleepwalking incident that would never happen again. I was wrong. Because it happened again. And again. And then a 4th time. By the 2nd time, I was mildly alarmed. By the 3rd, I was starting to suspect I was being pranked. By the 4th, I had to accept the horrifying truth. Oliver had somehow developed a habit of sleepwalking into my bed. Naked. And the worst part? He didn't seem to care. Oh yeah, he said when I confronted him about it. I used to sleepwalk as a kid. Guess it's back. That's it? That's your explanation? He shrugged. I mean, I could lock myself in my bed if it bothers you. That should have been my cue to say yes. That should have been the moment I shut this down for good. But instead, I hesitated. Because, well, it did bother me. But not in the way it should have. Because when Oliver curled up against me in his sleep, it was comfortable. It was warm. It was, nope, not going there. I'll think about it, I muttered, already knowing damn well I wasn't going to make him stop. Oliver grinned and clapped me on the back, completely oblivious to the fact that my heart had just imploded. I was so screwed. A few days later. The more it happened, the harder it became to ignore. At first it was just the sleepwalking. But then there were other things. Small things. Things I probably should have noticed. Like how he always ended up closer to me than necessary. How our shoulders would brush and he wouldn't move away. How he would meet my eyes and just hold it. Longer than a normal friend should. Or how sometimes when he sleepwalked into my bed, he'd shift closer. His fingers would graze my arm, barely there but enough to make my skin tingle. and when I'd wake him up, he'd linger for just a second too long before rolling away. And the thing that really messed with my head, he never did this with anyone else. Not our other friends, not the random girls who flirted with him at parties, just me. I wanted to believe it meant something, but believing that meant hoping, and hoping meant setting myself up for disaster. So instead, I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was just imagining things. I told myself that whatever this was, it would pass. Except deep down, I wasn't so sure anymore. 3 days later. By the 5th time, Oliver had stopped pretending it was a problem. "Oh well," he said with a lazy grin when I woke up, again, to find him in my bed. "Guess it's just how things are now." "How are things now?" I echoed, my voice about 2 octaves higher than usual. "Oliver, you sleepwalk naked into my bed. You don't think that's weird?" He just stretched, yawned, and flopped back against my pillow, looking way too comfortable. "I mean, you don't have to make a big deal out of it." I stared at him. "I don't have to make a big deal out of it?" He grinned and reached out, poking my cheek. "Relax, dude. We're best friends." Best friends. Right. Best friends who now apparently shared a bed half the time. Best friends who didn't even pretend to have boundaries anymore. Best friends who... No, I was not spiraling again. I glared at him, but he just smiled, completely unfazed. And as much as I wanted to fight it, I knew the truth. He wasn't even trying to stop anymore. And that scared me more than anything. A week later, I tried to create some distance, I really did. But Oliver made it impossible. Every time I pulled away, he found a way back in, crawling into my bed at night, resting against me during movie nights, draping himself over me like I was his personal couch. Acting like all of it was normal, like my heart wasn't about to explode every single time. I was almost sure that it wasn't just his sleepwalking now. Some nights he was doing it on purpose, so I snapped. "Oliver," I blurted out one night after he once again ended up tangled against me in bed, "this has to stop." He blinked at me, half asleep, like I just said something ridiculous. Why? Why? Because it's weird. I ran a hand through my hair, exasperated. "You don't do this with anyone else. You don't..." I swallowed hard. "You don't even care that you're naked in my bed." He shrugged, a lazy smile playing on his lips. "It doesn't mean anything." And just like that, something inside me cracked. Because to me, it did. It meant everything. I turned away, trying to ignore the ache in my chest. Right, of course it doesn't. But deep down, I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep pretending. The next day, it happened again, and this time I didn't fight it. Oliver slipped into my bed like he always did, warm and half asleep, pressing against my side like he belonged there. Normally, I'd go stiff, hold my breath, pretend it wasn't happening. But tonight, I let myself feel it. Slowly, cautiously, I rested a hand on his waist. He didn't move, didn't flinch, just breathed, slow and steady. I told myself it was nothing, just an experiment, just seeing if he'd react. But then, after a long pause, Oliver shifted, not away, closer. His back pressed against my chest, his fingers curling lightly in the sheets. I swallowed hard, my heart pounding. Maybe he was asleep, maybe he wasn't. Either way, he wasn't pulling away. And for the first time, neither was I. The next morning, Oliver wouldn't look at me. After everything that had happened last night, after the way he had stayed when I rested my hand on his waist, after the way he had leaned into me, I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd finally crossed the line neither of us wanted to acknowledge. But now he was acting like it never happened. "Morning," I said carefully. "Morning," he muttered back, focused on his phone. That was it. No teasing, no stupid grin, no comment about me being warm like he usually made. Just silence. I swallowed hard. So, about last night. Oliver sighed, running a hand through his hair. Jack, don't. It was nothing. Nothing. The word hit me like a punch. I nodded slowly, pretending that didn't hurt, pretending that I hadn't spent half the night awake, memorizing the way he fit against me, pretending that my heart wasn't breaking just a little. Right, I said, forcing a smile. Nothing. Then I turned away before he could see the truth on my face. A week later, it wasn't a date. That's what I kept telling myself. It wasn't a date, just a distraction. Just a way to forget, even if only for a little while. But when Mason, kind, funny, interested Mason, leaned in, I let him. It was nice, warm, safe. I let my hand slide into his hair, let the kiss deepen, let myself pretend, just for a little while, that this was what I wanted. Then the door swung open. I didn't hear it at first, not until Mason stiffened, pulling back slightly, his lips still just inches from mine. Oh. The sound hit me like a punch. I turned my head, heart pounding, and saw Oliver standing in the doorway. His face was unreadable, but his eyes weren't. For a second, nobody moved. The air felt thick, suffocating. Then Oliver let out a short, humorless laugh. Didn't mean to interrupt. His voice was too light, too casual. It made something in my chest twist painfully. Before I could say anything, he turned and walked out. Mason exhaled beside me. That was weird. I swallowed hard, my stomach churning. Yeah, but it wasn't just weird. It was everything. Because Oliver cared. Maybe more than he wanted to admit. Later that day, I barely made it 3 steps down the hall before Oliver came out of nowhere, grabbing my wrist and yanking me into the empty stairwell. "What the hell, Oliver?" I snapped, trying to pull free. His grip only tightened, his fingers digging in like he was afraid to let go. "You tell me." I let out a harsh laugh. "Are you serious right now? You walk in on me kissing someone and suddenly it's my fault?" His breath hitched. His jaw locked so tight I thought he might shatter. He didn't say anything, but his whole body trembled like he was holding something back. Something violent and fragile all at once. "Jesus," I muttered. "You don't get to do this. You don't get to act like what?" His voice cracked, sharp with something unspoken. His eyes, God, his eyes, were wild, burning. He dragged a shaking hand through his hair, gripping the back of his neck like he was trying to hold himself together. I don't know how to. He was panicking. But not because he got caught. Because of me. Because of us. I swallowed hard, my voice quieter now. "Oliver, what are you so scared of?" His breath hitched. His hands balled into fists at his side. And then, his face twisted. And suddenly the anger came crashing back. Darker, more desperate. "You knew," he hissed, voice thick with something too messy to name. "I know somewhere deep down, you knew. And you still did this to me." I flinched. It shouldn't have hit that hard, but maybe he was right. Maybe I'd known. Maybe I'd been waiting for him to admit it, to stop hiding behind hesitation and fear. But hearing it like that, like I had done something cruel. "I didn't do anything to you, Oliver," I said, but my voice came out weaker than I wanted. His fingers twitched at his sides, clenching, releasing, like he wanted to punch something, like he wanted to touch me but didn't know how. "I don't know what this is," he whispered, and it was barely a sound, wrecked and broken. "But I can't fucking see you with someone else. I don't know why. I don't know anything anymore." Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. His breathing was uneven, his hands still shaking. I should have said something. Should have reached for him. But all I could do was stand there, watching him fall apart at the seams and know. I already had my answer. 2 days later. Oliver has been avoiding me. Not outright, he's still around, still in our dorm, still acting like nothing happened. But something's off. The usual ease between us is gone. He's quieter, tenser, like he's stuck in his own head. And the worst part? He's actually sleeping in his own bed. For the past week, I've woken up alone and I hate it. I shouldn't. This is normal. This is how things are supposed to be. But I miss him. I miss waking up to the warmth of him beside me, the weight of his arm draped over my waist, the sleepy way he'd mumble nonsense before rolling over. I miss pretending, even for a little while, that I could have him the way I wanted. But I don't push. I don't bring it up, don't ask him what he's thinking, don't force him to talk, because I know Oliver. If I push, he'll just retreat further. He needs time, space, whatever it is that'll help him sort through the mess in his head. Still, it hurts. And it hurts even more when, one night, I catch him watching me. I'm sitting on my bed, pretending to be engrossed in my phone, but I can feel his eyes on me. When I look up, he doesn't look away fast enough. Something flashes in his expression, hesitation, frustration, something I can't quite place. But then he turns over, back facing me, and forces himself to sleep. I sigh and do the same, staring at the ceiling, pretending I don't feel that tiny spark of hope burning inside me. A few days later. It happens on a Wednesday. We're on the couch, watching some dumb movie neither of us are paying attention to. The volume is low, the room dimly lit by the glow of the screen. The air feels thick, heavy with something unspoken. Oliver is sitting closer than he has in days, his knee pressed against mine. It's small, barely anything, but it sends sparks up my spine. I don't move away. I don't want to. At some point he shifts, turning slightly toward me. I can feel his gaze before I even look. When I do, I find him already watching me. Eyes dark, searching, conflicted. I swallow. What? He doesn't answer. He just stares, something unreadable flickering behind his expression. His lips part, then close again, like he wants to say something but can't find the words. And then he moves. Slow, hesitant, like he's giving himself time to stop, to rethink, to run. But he doesn't. His fingers brush against my arm, barely there, like he's testing something, like he's testing me. I don't move. I don't breathe. His hand trails up, light and uncertain, settling just above my wrist. His fingers curl there, his touch warm and grounding. And then, hesitantly, carefully, he leans in. My heart pounds. His face is inches from mine now, his breath ghosting against my lips. My whole body goes tight, waiting, wanting. His gaze flickers down, and for a single, heart-stopping moment, I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to kiss me. But then, just as quickly, something shifts. His jaw clenches. His fingers twitch against my skin, and then he's pulling back, fast, like he's been burned. He swallows hard, shakes his head. I need water. And then he's gone, practically fleeing to the kitchen, leaving me staring at the empty space where he'd just been. I let out a shaky breath, dragging a hand through my hair. We're close. So close. But he's still scared. And I don't know how much longer I can wait. 2 days later. It's late. Almost 3 a.m. I'm lying in bed, half asleep when I feel movement beside me. It startles me awake, and for a second I think I'm dreaming. But no. Oliver is there, slipping under the covers like he used to, like the past few weeks of distance never happened. He doesn't say anything. He just lays there, staring at the ceiling, breathing unevenly. I don't speak either. I just wait. After a long moment, he finally whispers, I don't know what this means. I swallow hard. That's okay. His brows furrow. No, it's not. It's confusing. It's frustrating, and it's... He exhales sharply, turning his head to look at me. It's you. My heart stutters. Me? He nods, hesitant but sure. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what it makes me. But I know that when I tried to stay away, I hated it. And I know that being here, being with you, feels right. I don't realize I'm holding my breath until he reaches for me. It's tentative, barely there. A brush of fingers against my wrist. Then a slow slide under his palm is pressed against mine. He looks at me, searching for something. Maybe permission, maybe reassurance. I squeeze his hand. You don't have to figure it all out right now, I say softly. Just stay, okay? His shoulders relax. He nods. And for the first time in weeks, I fall asleep with him right where he belongs, beside me. A month later, it starts small. Little things that would have meant nothing before but feel different now. Oliver sitting closer, his shoulder brushing mine for longer than necessary. The way his hand sometimes lingers on my arm when he laughs. The way he looks at me. Not confused, not conflicted, but like he's starting to understand something. And then one night, it's different. We're lying on our beds, lights off, the room quiet except for the occasional sound of rustling sheets. Normally, we'd say goodnight and leave it at that. But tonight, Oliver speaks. Jack? His voice is quiet. Yeah? A pause, then... Do you ever think about... us? I freeze. My stomach twists. What do you mean? Another pause. I can't see his face in the dark, but I hear his breath catch like he's debating saying more. I don't know, he finally says. I think about it. A lot. The words settle between us, heavy and fragile. My heart is pounding so hard it hurts. I want to ask him what he means. I want to ask him what he wants, but I don't. Instead, I say, me too. And in the dark, I swear I hear him smile. A week later, Oliver reaches for my hand. We're walking back from the store, arms weighed down with snacks and energy drinks, the sky darkening into the early evening. We're laughing about something stupid, something normal, when I feel it. His fingers, brushing against mine. I tease, but he doesn't pull away. If anything, he does the opposite. He lingers. His pinky hooks around mine, hesitant but deliberate. My throat goes dry. I could pull away. I should pull away, but I don't. Instead, I turn my hand slightly, letting our fingers tangle together. Not tight, not a full grip, just there. A silent acknowledgement of whatever this is, whatever we're moving toward. Oliver doesn't look at me, and I don't look at him. We just keep walking, our hands barely linked, like it's the most natural thing in the world. And for the first time, it doesn't feel scary. It just feels right. A few weeks later, it's the little things. Like how Oliver doesn't hesitate anymore. How he reaches for me without thinking, leans into me like it's the most natural thing in the world. How he sits closer, how his fingers brush mine when he hands me something. How he lets them linger like he's daring me to notice. I do. We're sitting on the dorm floor, our backs against the bed, a bag of chips between us. Some random show plays in the background, but neither of us is really watching. It's late. The kind of late where everything feels softer, where the world outside doesn't exist. Oliver's head rests on my shoulder. It's not the first time, but it's the first time he does it without hesitation, without testing the waters first. It's different now. He's different now. His arm shifts, brushing against mine, and then, just like that, he links our fingers together. Easy. Like it's instinct. I glance at him. He doesn't look at me, doesn't fidget or pull away. He just keeps staring at the screen, like this is nothing. Like this is normal. Like he's sure. And maybe that's what makes my chest ache the most. Not some big dramatic declaration, not some intense earth-shattering moment. Just this. Just him. Slowly letting the fear go, letting himself have this. He squeezes my hand like he knows what I'm thinking. I squeeze back. And for the first time, he doesn't look scared at all. 2 weeks later. It happens on a random night. No build-up, no tension, just us. We're in the dorm playing some dumb video game. Oliver's leaning against me, our legs tangled like it's nothing. It's easy, natural. We're laughing. The kind that makes your stomach hurt, makes you forget about everything else. Then, in the middle of it all, he turns his head and looks at me. There's something in his eyes. Soft, warm, different. My laughter dies down. My heart's stumbling over itself. I don't even get the chance to ask what's wrong before he moves. It's not hesitant this time. It's not a mistake. Not something he's going to pull away from. He leans in, presses his lips to mine, and for a second, I can't breathe. Then I kiss him back. It's slow, warm, and real. There's no confusion, no hesitation. Just him. Just us. His fingers curl into my shirt, pulling me closer, like he's scared I'll disappear. I can feel him smiling against my mouth like he finally gets it. When we pull away, his forehead rests against mine. His breath is shaky, but his hands are steady as they hold me there, as if anchoring himself to me. I don't know what this means, he admits, voice barely above a whisper. I just know I don't want to run from it anymore. I let out a breathless laugh, my heart swelling. Good. But then he swallows, his fingers gripping me tighter. Jack, he says, and suddenly his voice is serious. I blink, caught off guard. Yeah? He pulls back just enough to look me in the eye. His gaze is intense, full of something raw and unguarded. I've been unfair to you, he says, voice thick. I've been so fucking unfair. My breath catches, but I don't say anything. I let him speak. I know how long you felt this way, he continues. I knew, Jack. Maybe not fully, maybe not consciously, but somewhere deep down, I knew. And I still made you wait. His jaw clenches. I kept you at arm's length, let you believe I wasn't. He stops, exhaling sharply. I made you think there was no hope, that you had to move on. And I hated watching you try. I stare at him, heart hammering. Oliver, I'm sorry, he breathes, his thumb brushing over my cheek. I am so fucking sorry for every time I made you doubt this. Doubt me. His lips press together like he's fighting back a wave of emotions. But you never pushed me. You never made me feel like I had to be ready. You just let me figure it out. You let me be scared. You let me come to. I feel something sting in my chest, in my throat. I just wanted you to be sure. His expression softens, and then he smiles. Not a hesitant, nervous smile. Real. Like he's sure. Like he's ready. I am. My breath catches. I don't have all the answers yet, he says. I don't know what label fits me, or if I even need one. But I know you. I know what I feel when I'm around you. What I feel for you. His fingers trail down my arm, finding my hand, lacing them together. And I know that I don't want to go another day pretending like I don't want this. Like I don't want you. My chest is so tight it's hard to breathe. Then, as if he hasn't already shattered me completely, he lets out a soft, almost nervous laugh. I also know something else. I raise an eyebrow, trying to find my voice. Yeah? His lips twitch, then slowly, he shifts, moving until he's kneeling in front of me on the bed. My stomach flips. What are you doing? I ask, half laughing, half panicking. He takes a deep breath, squeezing my hand, and then, I know it's stupidly fast and we haven't even figured out what this is yet, he says. But I don't need more time to know one thing for sure. His fingers tighten around mine. His voice drops, steady and certain. I want forever with you. My heart stops. I can't think. I can't breathe. I can't do anything except stare at him. But he gives me a small, nervous smile. Maybe it's not a proposal, not in the traditional sense, he murmurs. But it's a promise. A real one. His free hand cups my face, thumb brushing over my cheekbone. I'm not going anywhere, Jack. No more running, no more fear. Just us. I let out a shaky breath. My hands tremble as I reach up, gripping his wrists, holding on to him like he's the only thing keeping me grounded. Say something, he whispers, eyes searching mine. I exhale sharply, then laugh. Wet and broken, but real. You suck at taking things slow. He laughs, relief flooding his face. Yeah, I do. I shake my head, trying to hold back the tears pricking at my eyes. Then I pull him forward, crashing our lips together in a way that tells him everything I can't say. He kisses me back, deep and sure and full of every unspoken word we've been too scared to say. And in that moment, I know. This is it. It's always been him. A year later. A year ago, I never would have imagined this. Waking up every morning to Oliver. No more secrets, no more second guessing, just us. I roll over in bed, burying my face on the pillow with a groan. Too early, I mumble. Oliver, who was already up, fully dressed, and somehow way too energetic for this hour, laughs from across the room. It's literally 10, he says. You're a grown man. Get up. No. I feel the bed dip as he sits beside me. Okay, but what if I said I made coffee? I peek one eye open. You made coffee? He smirks. Fine, I bought it. But it's still hot, and I even got that ridiculous caramel vanilla thing you like. I sit up immediately. Hand it over. He holds the cup just out of reach, grinning. Kiss first. I narrow my eyes at him, but honestly, not even mad. Leaning in, I press a lazy, lingering kiss to his lips, feeling the way he smiles against my mouth. There, I murmur. Now gimme. He hands over the coffee with a chuckle, watching as I take a blissful sip. I catch him looking at me, that soft, adoring expression he doesn't even try to hide anymore. What? I ask, raising an eyebrow. Nothing. His voice is warm, fond. Just like seeing you happy. I huff a laugh. Sap. Yeah, he mutters, flopping back onto the bed beside me. So, movie night later? Obviously. Pizza? Duh. He grins, tilting his head to look at me. I love you, you know? My chest tightens, not in the painful, longing way it used to, but in that light, full way that reminds me how far we've come. I know, I say, leaning down to kiss him again just because I can. I love you too. And just like that, everything is right. Conclusion. I stand at the altar, looking at Oliver, and for a second, it doesn't feel real. For the longest time, I never thought we'd get here. Loving him had always felt like something I had to keep quiet, something too impossible to hope for. But now he's standing in front of me, eyes bright, wearing the dumbest, most beautiful smile. And he's mine. We made it through all of it, the confusion, the fear, the waiting. We chose each other, again and again. And today, we do it forever. Oliver reaches for my hand, squeezing it, and I squeeze back. This is our beginning, our future, and I can't wait to live every second of it with him. The end. How did you come to terms with your sexuality? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome!